The Saints in the mid-70s. Tom Flores won the Super Bowl with the Raiders and then came up here. Jimmy Johnson with the Cowboys, then to the Dolphins for 4 seasons. Mike Ditka, after the Chicago Super Bowl triumph, went to New Orleans. George Seifert in San Francisco, then to Carolina. Dick Vermeil still going. Won it with the Rams, now trying to do it with the Chiefs eventually. Mike Holland and Bill Parcells.
I guess the lesson is here, if you win a Super Bowl, stay put.
Flag. Hasselbeck throws out of bounds.
No, it's happened in this free agency.
Offense, number 72, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Chris Terry.
You know, free agency and salary cap. You have a salary cap on what you can pay players to make up your team, and there's no salary cap on coaches. So I think that's someplace, if you're looking for an advantage in the salary cap area, that's a place you can get an advantage, is paying a coach a whole heck of a lot of money.
A lot of owners have tried to do that, but the bottom line, John, is that no coach has won a Super Bowl with the next team.
If you are a coach and you do have a good team and you win a Super Bowl, just stay there and be happy. That's what I would do.
Well, you know, Parcells came the closest because he took New England to the Super Bowl but didn't win it. He took the Jets to the AFC Championship game as Jerry Rice makes the catch, but they throw underneath, and they're going to run out of time.
Yeah, but don't you feel that he should have stayed with the Giants?
Well, remember, it was a health issue at that point. He needed some time off. Crowd hates the fact they've blown an 11-point lead. It's 19-14 Dallas. Resounding boos at Quest Field. Coming up next will be the Lexus halftime show. Tiger Woods coming up live when we come back to Seattle. 1914.
ESPN Sport Legends presents Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan's legend was made with his actions on the basketball court, but his intense competitiveness was just as evident off the court.
He is so competitive. I can remember beating him in a game of pool 3 games in a row, and he didn't speak to me for 24 hours.
I think it came from doubters early on in my life and my determination to prove them wrong.
Michael Jordan was on a bus, and players were sort of comparing how famous they were. Michael Jordan kind of sat there. Finally, somebody said something like, I bet even Michael can't get a hold of Janet Jackson. He took out a cell phone, took out his little directory, dialed up, said, is Janet there? Just tell her it's MJ, you know. 2 seconds later, Janet Jackson was on the phone.
That competitiveness puts him in the league all by himself.
You play it. They're down in 5 from the 32-yard line. The pass is caught by Isaac Cruz, who loses the ball after picking up the first down, and it is picked up and run all the way back for a touchdown.
Trade away an all-star center. The defense from Christie. Bryant tries it again. Christie played him beautifully, but Bryant wouldn't take no for an answer. Touchdown, Porter. Great job by that offensive line. This to take the lead from 42.
They blocked it.
It was Langston Walker. What a huge, huge play. This SportsCenter update is brought to you by Nokia. In the UEFA Champions League, Dutch team PSV Eindhoven will take on Panathinaikos of Greece on Tuesday. The Group E match could determine if Panathinaikos progresses to the next round. For that to happen, they must edge out England's Arsenal by beating PSV Eindhoven, who have already qualified, and have Rosenborg of Norway beat or draw with Arsenal. Arsenal can advance to the knockout phase with a win against Rosenborg. They can still qualify even if they draw or lose, depending on the result of the Panathinaikos and PSV Eindhoven match. Rosenborg's last win in Europe was back in 2001 against Celtic. Don't miss live coverage. Champions League Tuesday on ESPN. World Anti-Doping Agency Chief Dick Pound waded into the drug saga involving Olympic medalist Marion Jones. The American sprinter won 3 gold medals at the Sydney Games. but her reputation was tarnished by allegations of doping abuse. The latest charge laid before her comes from Victor Conte, the founder of Balco. Conte claimed that he had supplied Jones with banned substances before the Olympics in 2000. The WADA chief believes that Jones should be stripped of her 5 Olympic gold medals if Conte is found to be telling the truth. The NBA informed the Players Union it will not seek a temporary restraining order in federal court. This clears the way for a grievance hearing over suspensions for the Pacers-Pistons brawl. Arbitrator Roger Kaplan will preside over the hearing Thursday and Friday at Manhattan Law Office. Suspended players Ron Artest, Jermaine O'Neal, and Steven Jackson are expected to attend. Artest was sidelined for the season. Jackson for 30 games and O'Neal for 25 for fighting with fans November 19th. Now, China has banned a Nike TV commercial showing NBA star LeBron James fighting a cartoon Kung Fu master. The commercial, titled Chamber of Fear, was broadcast on Chinese station before being pulled last month by the government. The State Administration for Radio, Film, and Television claimed it insulted national dignity and Chinese culture. Vijay Singh won the PGA Tour Player of the Year award on Monday for the first time. Singh ended Tiger Woods' 5-year hold on the honor with a season that left no debate about who was #1 in golf. Singh captured the PGA Championship among his 9 victories and became the first player to surpass the $10 million won mark in one season. No one else won more than 3 times, and his earnings were nearly twice as much as Ernie Els. Miami Dolphins receiver David Boston is facing a 4-game suspension for the NFL for violating the league's no-tolerance policy on steroids. While playing for San Diego in 2003, he had constantly claimed he gained weight as a result of extensive workout regimen and the use of legal supplements. NFL players are only suspended 4 games for a first positive test for steroids. Check your local listings for the next edition of SportsCenter in your area.
We head to the gridiron for NFL Sunday Night Football, where the Oakland Raiders upset their divisional rivals, the Denver Broncos, in the snow. Kerry Collins led the attack, throwing for 339 yards and 4 touchdowns, while Jerry Porter caught 3 of them, including the game winner, as the Raiders won 25-24. ESPN celebrates the Oakland Raiders, our athletes of the week. 3 minutes of punishment. 10 rounds of action. And sometimes you can describe them as the best rounds of the year. We're searching through our collection and choosing what we consider to be the best of Friday night fights. Every week, only on ESPN. The NBA on ESPN continues Friday. Allen Iverson and the 76ers, succeeding in the talent-filled East, face the Chicago Bulls. Sixers versus Bulls, live Friday. The NBA on ESPN. This week on ESPN, the UEFA Champions League continues Wednesday with 2 more from Matchday 6, including Roma versus Real Madrid live. On Thursday, wax your boards for 2 episodes from the WQS surfing circuit. Friday, you got the guts to go all in? These guys and girls sure do. The 2004 World Series of Poker. Then later, Rocky Juarez and Cudi Espada Jr. battle in a main event special Friday night fights. Sports all day, every day on ESPN this week.
It was a busy week on the UEFA Champions League front, and now we know the identities of the 16 teams in the draw for the first knockout round. Our reaction to what happened on Matchday 6 on the next edition of ESPN SoccerNet Press Pass on Friday on ESPN.
This week on ESPN, the UEFA Champions League continues Wednesday with 2 more from Matchday 6, including Roma versus Real Madrid live. On Thursday, wax your boards for 2 episodes from the WQS surfing circuit. Friday, you got the guts to go all in? These guys and girls sure do. The 2004 World Series of Poker. Then later, Rocky Juarez and Cudi Espada Jr. battle in a main event special Friday night fights. Sports all day, every day on ESPN this week.
Welcome back to the NFL Halftime Report. Mark Brown with you for now from our ESPN studios as the Cowboys stage a little comeback in the second quarter. They have the 5-point advantage over the Seattle Seahawks. Let's go back and find out what happened in the first half. First possession for Seattle. Matt Hasselbeck finding Bobby Ingram. Then on a 3rd and 1, Hasselbeck buying some time and finding Jerry Rice in the end zone. 27-yard touchdown strike. It was 7-0 Seahawks. And Julius Jones hitting the hole for first down yardage and more. 53 yards and all deep into Seattle territory. But the drive would stall. Billy Cundiff came on and hit this 39-yard field goal to pull the Cowboys within 7-3. Seahawks coming right back, though. Hasselbeck, just a quick flip to Darrell Jackson, but he makes lots of Cowboys miss and takes it 35 yards, setting up a 1st and goal. A couple of plays later, Jackson finishes it off. 2-yard touchdown reception. It was 14-3 Seattle. That was the score heading into the 2nd quarter. In the 2nd quarter, Vinny off of play action, finding Jason Witten, who's got the 1st down inside the 10, sets up a 1st and goal. Then Vinny looking for Terrence Copper off the pump fake, finds him in the back of the end zone. 2-point conversion try to tie the game failed, so it was 14-12 Seattle. Then Vinny looking for his favorite target, Jason Witten, on the move, pushing his way forward. Set up a 1st and goal again. Now, Julius Jones off the draw. Lots of room to run. An 8-yard touchdown run gave Dallas their first lead of the game at 19-14. Came with just 32 seconds to play in the first half. As you look at the numbers, Vinny's completing only half his passes for only 78 yards. Hasselbeck, on the other hand, has been almost perfect. 14 of 16, already over 200 yards in the first half, and he's thrown 2 touchdown passes. The problem, his team is behind. The Cowboys have done a nice job. A strong 2nd quarter showing for them, as Vinny Testaverde has led them on touchdown scoring drives on their last 2 possessions. We'll see if the Cowboys can keep it going on Monday Night Football. When we come back, we'll have the start of the 3rd quarter.
Cruz, who loses the ball after picking up the 1st down, and it is picked up and run all the way back for a touchdown.
Trade away an all-star center. A defense from Christie. Bryant tries it again. Christie played him beautifully, but Bryant wouldn't take no for an answer.
Great job by that offensive line. This to take the lead from 42.
They blocked it.
It was Langston Walker. What a huge, huge play.
The NFL on ESPN. 2 games each and every week. Oh, that hurts. These guys are tough. Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, my. Oh. The NFL on ESPN.
Simply the finest football on the planet. ESPN continues full-day coverage of the UEFA Champions League all the way through the championship game in May. ESPN, the home of the UEFA Champions League.
Friday Night Fight special event. With 44 bouts under his belt, Cody Espada will try to teach a lesson to the 6th-ranked featherweight in the world, but Rocky Juarez is hoping to take over the classroom with his 15th knockout. Friday Night Fight special event on ESPN.
Well, pretty good game so far through 2 quarters as the Cowboys and Seahawks are battling it out for their playoff lives. A 19-14 lead for Dallas. Dallas had lost 3 straight games before a Thanksgiving Day victory. And here's a look at what the Cowboys have coming up. They host New Orleans next week, and then in Week 15, it's at Philadelphia for a very tough game, and then Washington and the Giants. So there's some room to grab a few victories. The problem is the Cowboys got to come close to running the table beginning tonight. As for the Seahawks, they will be at Minnesota. The Vikings needing some wins as well. Right now, they are positioned in a possible wild card berth. Then it's at the New York Jets and Arizona, and then Atlanta. So the Seahawks have a fairly difficult schedule with 3 of those opponents, 3 of those 4 having winning records in their final 4 matchups. So the Seahawks have a little bit of a tough road if they're going to try to hold on to the NFC West division lead. A full house, of course, at Quest Stadium, where the Seahawks call home. They're hosting the Dallas Cowboys here on Monday Night Football on ESPN, and we'll take a look at the battle of the running backs. Right now, Sean Alexander being shut down by the Cowboys defense. 10 carries for only 27 yards. Meanwhile, the rookie Julius Jones now with his 3rd consecutive 100-yard game. Outstanding performance, 16 carries, 119 yards, and the 1 touchdown run. It was an 8-yarder. Also had a 53-yard run in the first quarter that set up the Cowboys' first score, which was a Billy Cundiff field goal. 2 Cundiff field goals and 2 touchdowns. One the Jones run, the other a Testaverde pass to Terrence Copper. That was the 63rd different receiver that Vinny Testaverde had thrown a touchdown pass to. That is an all-time NFL record. Let's get you back now to the start of the 3rd quarter and Al Michaels.
They're ready to kick off for the Dallas Cowboys.
Now that would be a bridge, huh?
That would be a bridge and a half. Maurice Morris brings it back to the 21-yard line, and let's check in with Michelle.
Al, Mike Holmgren told me at halftime that in order to slow down Julius Jones, he may need to commit one more defender to the box. And as far as his own running game goes, he is still committed to getting Sean Alexander going. As for Bill Parcells, he really likes the way his team is moving the football. He told me he's concerned about his defense settling down, not giving up as many big plays here in the second half. His prediction, whoever grabs momentum early here will probably win.
Well, he wants to start on the ground, as he said, and he does it with Alexander, and he gets a nice run here on the opening play. Gain of 9 up to the 30-yard line. Lynn Scott is there for the tackle. Take a look at the numbers through the first half. Jones already has 119 on the ground, and thus Dallas dominating on the ground. Seahawks more through the air. Seahawks have turned the ball over 1 time. Total yards pretty close.
You know, like we've always said, the running gets easier in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
Alexander lost the ball. It's a fumble, and it's Dat Wynn who comes away with the football. Sean Alexander, and he won't even argue the point. Take a look at the replay.
We talked about that 8th man in the box, and you see Roy Williams. You see, he's the guy, and he gets in there, and he makes the first stop. And as he twists, that's when the ball comes out of Alexander. Watch him see. He makes the hit right there, and then the ball starts to come out. Dat Wynn is right there to pick it up. It's a 2nd turnover for the Seahawks in about the same spot, isn't it?
First one costly. The other one, the Jeremy Urban fumble, which was run back into Seattle territory and resulted in a score at the end of the drive. 1st and 10 now from the 21. Fake to Jones. Testaverde throws out in the flat. Keyshawn Johnson. And Johnson has a first down. He's out of bounds near the 10-yard line. First down.
You see it like Mike Holmgren was telling Michelle that, you know, you may have to put that 8th guy up there to stop Julius Jones, get that extra guy. Then now you concentrate on Julius Jones. You concentrate on stopping the run, and watch what they do. They're going to fake him in here and bootleg out to this side. See the fake there? Now everyone is going for Julius Jones. Vinny Testaverde can just come out to the backside, and Keyshawn Johnson's wide open. That's where running helps your passing game.
1st and goal, 10-yard line. Jones. Touchdown. Darian Barnes, the fullback, led the way. And so Parcells watches his team get a big takeaway and very quickly move into the end zone.
Yeah, 2 tight ends, they get in there, and this is where running helps the running game. Again, anytime you're going to get a big block here and you're going to get a big block here, and anytime you get this handle, you have a chance for a pretty big run in the running game. Watch Larry Allen. Just stay with his guy, turn his guy out, and then Julius Jones can cut right off him.
Cundiff for the point after it. So a 14-3 Seattle lead is now a 26-14 Seattle deficit. Dallas by a dozen.
ESPN Sport Legends presents the New York Yankees. Despite the fact that baseball is an American sport that has not gained worldwide popularity, everywhere around the world, people know of the New York Yankees.
The Yankees had all the money, they had all the good scouts, they had the best players, they had the best coaches and managers. The Yankees did everything right.
The Yankees represented success, and people like to root for success. Even if you hated them, I like the idea of being somebody that good.
The Yankee dynasty goes from the early 20s to the mid-1960s. Forget about it. If you want to compare that to something, start with the Ming dynasty.
The Yankees won 20 championships between 1922 and 1962. They've added 6 since, including 4 in the last 9 years.
They have developed the most amazing mystique, the most amazing kind of consciousness of baseball.
This week on ESPN, the UEFA Champions League continues Wednesday with 2 more from Matchday 6, including Roma versus Real Madrid live. On Thursday, wax your boards for 2 episodes from the WQS surfing circuit. Friday, you got the guts to go all in? These guys and girls sure do. The 2004 World Series of Poker. Then later, Rocky Juarez and Cudi Espadas Jr. battle in a main event special Friday night fights. Sports all day, every day on ESPN this week.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Across the parking lot sits Safeco Field, the beautiful retractable roof home of the Seattle Mariners. Roof is open tonight. And our thanks to the acknowledgement of 35 years of Monday Night Football. Maurice Morris takes the kick at the 8-yard line and brings it back up to the 27-yard line. And so the Seattle Seahawks, who start with a turnover, now down by 12 points, go back to work after that Alexander turnover.
You know who's going to be quiet about right now? Those people that said they wanted Drew Henson.
Yeah.
I think that has got now all those things in the NFL are very temporary. I mean, you know, it comes and goes. You have a good team here, a bad team. You know, you're in, you're out, you're all these things. But I think that Drew Henson stuff is going to calm down a little.
Well, it was a big story in Dallas after the Thanksgiving game where owner Jerry Jones expressed, in his words, some disappointment and some frustration over the fact they won the game. He loved that, but they couldn't do it with the young guys, obviously meaning number 1, Henson. Hasselback throws, pass incomplete. So some of the quotes that he had in regard to that, I thought we hadn't seen enough negatives from Drew. I'm not second-guessing Bill. He loved the win. It'll be exciting for the fans when they can do it with the young players. So it was disappointing to see Henson benched. And, of course, that led to all of the stuff about, well, we told you it wouldn't work, Parcells and Jones. But you know what? Bill had to be a little disappointed himself that Henson couldn't pull it off in the second half and play well enough in the first. I'm sure Bill would have loved to have won the game with Drew Henson.
Right, and he was seeing that, you know, he was getting blitzed and there were things that he couldn't handle, and, you know, he was a little late on everything. And I think the big thing about Drew Henson is he's going to get his opportunity, and I think a lot of that stuff was just kind of hoping against hope, kind of rooting for him that, you know, they haven't really had one since Troy Aikman, and this guy has to be the guy, and they want him to be the guy so badly that maybe he's not the guy.
Well, in today's world where you parse every belch in the paper and on talk radio, everybody wanted to make a big deal out of it. 3rd down and 7. Hasselback throws, and that's tipped.
by Lynn Scott. 4th down and 7. It's checking with Michelle.
Well, I spoke to Jerry Jones about those comments you were talking about, Alan. He said since Thanksgiving, he and Bill Parcells have been in constant communication that together they agree right now is the focus. And that Vinny Testaverde gives them the best chance to win this game tonight. They're living in the here and now, and I think as long as Vinny Testaverde keeps performing the way he is, Al, based on what Jerry Jones told me, there's not going to be a quarterback change.
So they come out of this with a win. They're 5-7. Then they have New Orleans at home next week.
Right, and they're right in the middle of that big old clump.
That is a clump. False start here.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 53. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Yeah, the Cowboys have picked up the momentum, and they know they have it, and you can feel the fans turning against their Seahawks. But on that last play, on that 3rd down play, they came with a safety blitz. They came with a lot of pressure on the left side, and they brought their safety, Roy Williams, and looks like they think that now they want to throw Hasselbeck out of any rhythm that he may have had. Earlier, they wanted to stop Sean Alexander. Now I feel that they want to come and put a lot of heat on Matt Hasselbeck.
Ken Walker recently picked up. Punted with the Super Bowl champion New England Patriots last year. Left-footed kicker. Fair caught up at the 44-yard line by Lance Frazier. Crowd boos the kick. Crowd boos the offense. Crowd not happy. Dallas up by 12. Third down and 5 from the 32-yard line. The pass is caught by Isaac Cruz, who loses the ball after picking up the 1st down, and it is picked up and run all the way back for a touchdown.
Trade away an all-star center. A defense from Christie. Bryant tackled it again. Christie played him beautifully, but Bryant wouldn't take no for an answer.
Touchdown, Porter. Great job by that offensive line. This to take the lead from 42.
It blocked it.
It was Langston Walker. What a huge, huge play.
We head to the gridiron for NFL Sunday Night Football, where the Oakland Raiders upset their divisional rivals, the Denver Broncos, in the snow. Kerry Collins led the attack, throwing for 339 yards and 4 touchdowns, while Jerry Porter caught 3 of them, including the game winner, as the Raiders won 25-24. ESPN celebrates the Oakland Raiders, our athletes of the week.
We invite our Latin American audience to tune in this Thursday for another edition of NFL Seminole, where Alvaro Martin and Raul Alegre recap the week that was, take a look ahead at the week that will be, and of course coming up week 14 as teams jockey for playoff position. You won't want to miss the next edition of NFL Seminole. For now, we get you back to Monday Night Football from Seattle.
What I like to say is Bellevue. They're pretty good, too. Like Bellevue beat De La Salle. They'd won 151 straight.
Yeah, and that is caught as Keyshawn Johnson on the sideline, stays in bounds with great concentration, pulls in a 39-yard pass and run from Vinny Testaverde.
You're going to say, here's Keyshawn Johnson. Here's Trufant right here. He's up on him, but he doesn't get a bump. You see, he gets a little touch here, which is really illegal, and a perfect throw by Vinny Testaverde. I don't know, is Keyshawn Johnson in?
Too late.
Academic.
But hold it, because maybe there was a buzz.
The replay pager went off.
I think Mike Holmgren has to challenge that one.
Yep, too big a play in the game.
Right, it was on the other side of the field. But again, does Keyshawn have control of the ball right there and both feet in bounds?
I think he's going to win this challenge, and that's something that Mike Holmgren has not done very often. So he has to have control.
And keep control all the way down
to the ground.
Which he does, but how about that throw by Vinny Testaverde?
Yeah.
I mean, that's about as perfect as a pass can be.
It's be pretty close. Back in a moment.
NBA on ESPN continues Friday. Allen Iverson and the 76ers, succeeding in the talent-filled East, face the Chicago Bulls. Sixers versus Bulls, live Friday. The NBA on ESPN. Friday Night Fight special event. With 44 bouts under his belt, Cootie Espada will try to teach a lesson to the 6th-ranked featherweight in the world, but Rocky Juarez is hoping to take over the classroom with his 15th knockout. Friday Night Fight special event on ESPN.
It was a busy week on the UEFA Champions League front, and now we know the identities of the 16 teams in the draw for the first knockout round. Our reaction to what happened on match day 6 on the next edition of ESPN SoccerNet Press Pass on Friday on ESPN.
We've been viewing this, and we think that this will be ruled a catch and will not be overturned. And Mike Holmgren will see another failed challenge. Take a look at Johnson. 1 foot down, drags the second, has possession in the air there, still has possession even though it's with one hand on the ground.
The receiver controlled the football, came down on his left foot and drug his right foot. It is a completed catch as ruled on the field. Seattle's charged with their first team timeout.
Well, worth a challenge, close enough, but again, Mike Holmgren sees another challenge go down the drain.
And I think he just had to do anything to slow up this Cowboy offense. But look at the time that Vinny Testaverde has. That's a perfect pocket, and he throws a perfect pass. I mean, Keyshawn Johnson didn't give him a lot of room to the sideline, so he didn't have any width. So he had to do it with depth and throw it right over his head. You see that pocket? I mean, that was a good shot from there where it showed how Vinny had the protection and how he could see and how he could step up and get everything on that throw.
Johnson's biggest play of the year, longest 39-yard reception. First down, 17-yard line for the Cowboys now. Julius Jones runs into a pestle.
Yeah, but this looks like such a different Cowboy team than we saw 3 weeks ago. And we talked about it earlier about a team that, you know, has the confidence now. And even Bill Parcells, I felt, had more confidence. And to me, it's all about being able to run the ball and Julius Jones. And now the Seattle Seahawks have to worry about stopping him. And then they do that, then everything else is wide open. They go 4 wide receivers, spread them out. Now what do you do if you're Seattle?
Second down and 9. Jones. Julius Jones. Flag at the 5-yard line. And it's going to be a hold against Dallas.
Holding offense, number 81. 10-yard penalty, second down.
Quincy Morgan, the receiver, holding and costing him a touchdown.
And you wonder why, because, you know, they had him spread out. Quincy Morgan is outside, and you're going to see him right here. He was a slot receiver. Yeah, he just holds right there with his left hand, and that was part of the blocking that Julius Jones needed right there. So that was a good call.
Correct.
It was a tough block there for Quincy Morgan because he had to come in and he had to make a block right there at the point of attack.
Blocked the linebacker Solomon Bates. So it's 2nd down and 14. It was a 5-yard gain. That part of it counts in a 10-yard penalty. 2nd down and 14. And a screen to Jones, and they bust that. Orlando Huff with the tackle.
One thing you know, Julius Jones isn't going to come out of the game, and Bill Parcells is going to work until his tongue drags.
He played with that broken shoulder. He'll play with anything.
I think his tongue is starting to drag right now, and I think right there he was looking longingly at the sidelines. Bill Parcells is ignoring him. Eddie George is eating a towel. Richie Anderson isn't even dressed for the game tonight. This is going to be all about Julius Jones.
3rd and 14. And a big sack. What a great defensive stand that time by Seattle when they had to have one. Jiki O'Keefer, they got the holding call, and then they're able to break up a screen, and then they get a sack, and they almost knocked the Cowboys out of field goal range. They're right on the edge.
Jiki O'Keefer here on Torrin Tucker, right here on the right side, and you see he just runs right by him. He gets him straightened up, and then he can go right around him. So the biggest play on that thing, though, was the penalty that called back the touchdown.
Key play. Now Billy Cunda from 47. And this one is his best shot of the night, not only in terms of length, but in accuracy. He's flunked one, barely got one inside and upright, but this time this one is good. 15-point game. Dallas. They're down and 5 to the 32-yard line. The pass is caught by Isaac Cruz, who loses the ball after picking up the first down, and it is picked up and run all the way back for a touchdown.
Trade away an all-star center. A defense from Christie. Bryant tries it again. Christie played him beautifully, but Bryant wouldn't take no for an answer.
Great job by that offensive line. This to take the lead from 42.
They blocked it.
It was Langston Walker. What a huge, huge play.
Three minutes of punishment. 10 rounds of action. And sometimes you can describe them as the best rounds of the year. We're searching through our collection and choosing what we consider to be the best of Friday night fights. Every week, only on ESPN. The NBA on ESPN continues Friday. Allen Iverson and the 76ers, succeeding in the talent-filled East, face the Chicago Bulls. Sixers versus Bulls, live Friday. The NBA on ESPN.
Nashville's the site next Monday night. Kansas City Chiefs going to Tennessee to take on the Tennessee Titans on Monday Night Football. Don't know about Steve McNair. Didn't play yesterday. Shaken up most of the season. Find out if he can go at it. But right now, the Dallas Cowboys, 26 unanswered points, up 29-14, and a spinning kick goes into the end zone. Down by Maurice Morris. Seahawks will begin at their own 20. Mike Holmgren started his head coaching career with Green Bay. Brett Favre, of course, was the man. Mike was there from the very outset after they acquired Favre from Atlanta. So 74-35 as the two of them combined for that stellar mark. 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 win. But with 6 other quarterbacks, Mike's record is 48-46.
I think maybe there's a lesson there, too. If you ever get a great quarterback, stay put until he leaves.
Play fake by Hasselback, and then he drops it underneath, and that's dropped by Sean Alexander. Now, the dropped pass has become as indigenous to Seattle as coffee.
Yeah, and it seems like every time you watch the Seattle Seahawks, you see guys dropping passes, and that was my first image of the Seahawks, as they drop passes all the time. But Sean Alexander, who Mike Holmgren told us last night, has to have a big night, is having a terrible night for Sean Alexander. Last couple of plays, he fumbled the one before that and then dropped that pass.
13 carries, 39 yards, 3 yards a carry. And Mr. Jerry Rice makes his presence known again. Scored a touchdown earlier in the game. Covered there by Terrence Newman. Got it off to him quickly because of the blitz. Speaking of the drop passes, well, you've got this kind of a montage that you can look at time and again. Darrell Jackson's dropped a lot. Corn Robinson, who is suspended right now, has been the culprit on a lot of occasions. Even little throws out into the flat, go down, and D-Jack again right there. So they know all too well about drop balls in Seattle. From the 31-yard line, that's Jackson. And Darrell is close to a first down. He's tackled there by Terrence Newman. And Jackson having a nice night. That's 99 yards for him on 7 grabs.
And Mike Holmgren was saying that, you know, Darrell Jackson has good hands. It's just that, you know, he's thinking about running with the ball, and that's when he has the problems. Is you know, instead of looking the ball all the way in like he does there, he's looking up to see where he's going to go. The Seahawks have tried everything. They even put numbers on the ball. Where they put like a 5, so you have to read the number as it comes into you.
2nd and 1. Hasselback underneath. This time Alexander does hold on to the 48, the first down. And here's Michelle again.
Well, I spoke with Nolan Cromwell, the wide receivers coach, as I told you earlier, Al. I asked him about the drop passes. He said they were trying to create big plays and lost focus of the football, as you guys mentioned. So the mantra this week in practice has been catch it, tuck it, then run. And he wants these guys to catch the ball, even if it means falling down right there on it and not running with it, Al.
Cromwell doing double duty this week. Alexander goes nowhere. They had Nolan and Gil Haskell, their offensive coordinator, who's also been a special teams coach, kind of helping out Mark Michaels, the special teams coach, because Seattle's had a lot of problems in that area.
Yeah, and I think that's a good idea anyway, and you wonder why haven't you always been doing that. Gil Haskell is the offensive coordinator and a very good coach, but special teams coaches need help sometimes, and I think that's, you know, the other coaches can just jump in and help them.
2nd down and 10, 48-yard line. They get a hold of Hasselback. That's a live ball had he dropped it, because that was a backward pass, and Alexander is able to make the catch and take it to the 50-yard line. Broke out of the grasp did Hasselback of Leroy Glover. The Monday Night Spotlight tonight for Matt Hasselback. 2 touchdown passes, both early. Vinny Testaverde, only 128 pass yards, but more effective tonight. Julius Jones, another big game, and the Cowboys have cashed in for 13 off a couple of turnovers.
I tell you, this Cowboy defense is really playing well, and they're getting good play from their inside tackles.
3rd down and 8 now from the 50-yard line. They didn't get the play off. Clock had run down. Delay a game.
You know, the other thing I know that is big to the Cowboys, it's big to everyone.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
And I know Vinny Testaverde talks about it, Bill Parcells talks about it, is playing with a lead. You know, now they can kind of play their football, and they can do anything. They can run it, they can pass it, they can, you know, slow the ball down, slow the clock down, slow the tempo down, go play action pass, bootleg Vinny. Once you get ahead, you're 29-14, you have a lead like this, everything in your offense is a play you can use.
3rd and 13. Empty backfield. Yep, 3-man line, 3-man rush. Hasselback gets a block that he needs there, and that enables him to complete it, but there is a flag down. It took so much time. Who knows who might or might not have been downfield. Jeremy Stevens made the catch, but this one has the look of a play that will come back.
Well, I see 5 offensive linemen. And so
illegal contact, defense, number 30. Penalties decline. First down.
No, it won't come back. Lance Frazier with the contact.
I saw the 5 offensive linemen there, and that's the first thing you think as they get an offensive lineman downfield. And you see it's going to be Frazier right there, number 30. That's after 5 yards, and it's a hold. But the thing that the Cowboys are thinking of in that 3-man line is to make Hasselbeck throw into 8-man coverage.
From the 29, pressure's on. He's stepping up. He's going to run with the ball. Slides to a hole at the 20-yard line. A couple of inches shy of the first.
And the thing they're getting, I talked about the middle guys, how they're doing a good job of getting pressure up the middle and stopping the run. That time they got the pressure right up the middle and they spun out of it. Here comes Greg Ellis. He gave them problems early, so they start to double team. If he's going to try that inside move, they are going to jam him with the guard.
Second and a short 1. Guess they give it to Max Strong, the fullback. Forward progress gets him the first down. 18-yard line. Stopped by Coakley with a little more than 5 minutes to go in the third period.
You know, that's one thing you don't see much anymore is the fullback carry the ball. I mean, that's kind of a lost art. You know, anytime a team uses 2 backs, usually one is the blocker and the other one's the runner. Remember, there was a day when you had a fullback and a halfback, and they each got the ball about 50-50.
Now it's like 95-5. 4 wideouts. First down and 10. Cowboys jump, but was Ellis induced by Chris Terry is the question.
Well, if he wasn't, you wonder why they blew the whistle, because he didn't look like he was unabated to the quarterback.
Prior to the snap, neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 98 entered the neutral zone, causing a reaction by number 72. 5-yard penalty, first down.
So that is Greg Ellis. He's the end man right here, and the neutral zone is the football. So he's going to move and get into neutral zone right there. You see, he's in the neutral zone. Now he made the offensive tackle move. Instead of being on the offensive tackle, it goes to the defensive guy who jumped in the neutral zone.
But it was close enough, I thought, with the ball being snapped at that moment, that they could have just called it on Ellis and let Seattle run a play. First and 5. Hasselbeck throws. Catch is made. Rice at the 7-yard line, and a first and goal now for Seattle on a very big drive. Very important.
This is the thing, that Hasselbeck is a streak passer, and that's what Bill Parcells was worried about. Is the guy does get hot, and you see they had 2 receivers on that side. The inside guy went to the outside. The outside guy came underneath. Matt Hasselbeck had good pass protection and hit him perfectly.
Dallas has been very porous in the red zone of late. First and goal. And that's thrown above Jackson. Last 7 times that the Dallas opponents, as Hasselbeck comes up a little shaken, the last 7 times that the Cowboy opponents have gotten into the red zone, they've gotten into the end zone.